looking kind of low, but Ariel is going to be able to heal everybody up, and this is probably game number 2 going to Adults with Jobs, unless they can defend it. Oh, they might have got the defense.
No. I think that's game.
Yeah, this
As
is
the
game.
man is very low on mana.
Game number 2, and the win for the series going over to Adults with Jobs. They move on to the semifinals.
Adam, very deep. Does he have the Iron Skin? We got the bouncing ball of the ball lightning, but in the meantime, we have a Belize trying to interrupt the channel. Will successfully, but the rest of stepdads will be falling. And it looks like at this point in time, it's better to be an adult with a job than to be a stepdad, because these adults are adults being harder at Heroes of the Storm, taking the game.
They've got a wave mid pushing in. They're going to maybe go for core. They're trying to find the kill on the Johanna. She gets chunked down. The Aslan damage comes out. Doesn't land on enough people. There's the Valkyrie onto the Deckard Cain. The Virtuoso gets killed. Johanna goes down. Deckard Cain goes down. Adults' Jobs looking very low, but Archetype can't do enough. The 3v5 almost happens, but core probably going over to Adults with Jobs. This could be it. This could be Adults with Jobs taking down the number 1 seed and becoming the Division A West champions. Here it is. Mephisto goes down. Adults with Jobs win 2-1.
I'm kind of worried here. 20 is nowhere to be found.
Accident.
Really great disengage by Night Striker, who unfortunately
They're so
doesn't have another.
Well, they had ults that did the damage.
Wow, excellent commentary.
Yeah.
Daka's digging in.
So.
Jaina gets really great stop of the cast by Enjoy along with the Dragon Blade, but that taunt completely saves Jaina's life. Really great taunt. I don't think Dahaka has any essence, so if they focus him, he's gonna go down, but Koof's incredibly low. Same with Mighty Frankie. And White Mane's armor just in the nick of time. Oh my goodness.
Happy Accents can really only watch as this keep gets destroyed. They've got no defense. Here comes the Riptire out. They're going to engage off of it. Urel goes into the backline. They find a lot of damage out of the Greymane, but Urel getting chunked out. She doesn't have Ardent Defender. Blue Laguna trying to free them. Li Ming, but down goes Murden. Down goes White Mane. I meant to free White Mane, and that's it. A quick 2-0.
And we are live. Welcome everyone to Nexus Gaming Series. Tonight we have a Division A Grand Finals here between Adults with Jobs and Zed Zed Zed. I am Graysville. Joining me tonight is Mongoose. And yeah, well, what can you tell me about these two games, or these two teams, excuse me?
Both teams had excellent seasons. I'm pretty excited. This was probably my first choice of divisions to get the grand finals, so pretty stoked I got it. Got number 1 seeded Zed 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 from the East, 8-2-1 during the regular season. NGS veterans from the West, number 2 seeded Adults with Jobs, 6-4-1 in the regular season. And both of these squads seem to have found their groove here in the playoffs. Between the two of them, they've only dropped one map, been really on point the whole playoffs. And I think this is going to be a pretty exciting set.
Yeah, in fact, let me just pull up the bracket for everyone so they can see where these teams came from in their respective brackets. So Adults with Jobs coming out of the Western bracket, taking down Soak Every Lane, Stepdads, and then that final between Archetype, who previously hadn't lost a single game all season, taking them down in game number 3. And on the right-hand side, in the East, is Zed Zed Zed, came in as the number 1 seed, and pretty respectively so, I would say. They have put themselves together a pretty good season so far. Would you say that this is probably a pretty even match?
I would like to think so. I mean, it's kind of hard to compare teams who cross brackets, without any common opponents. But both these teams very solidly at the top of their own division. So, game number 1 is really going to be a litmus test for just how close these teams are and what kind of a matchup we're going to get in the A Grand Finals.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. It looks like the teams are ready. I believe chat looks like they're ready. So let's go ahead and get ourselves ready for game number 1, which is going to be on Dragonshire. So map bans were Sky Temple and Tomb of the Spider Queen. This was Adults with Jobs map pick. So Zed 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 on the right-hand side. They'll get first pick here on Dragonshire. As a reminder for those watching at home, this is the live patch, but Mal'Ganis is not available, and Brightwing currently not available on Dragonshire of Volskaya due to a bug that she has, so that will not be available. But if anyone has looked at the lovely article that Jackster wrote, you can see that both of these teams have a pretty interesting hero pool. They're pretty diverse, I would say, as Asmodan first ban here on the side of Zed Zed Zed.
Yeah, Adults with Jobs in particular had the 3rd largest hero pool in their own division, 37 unique heroes over the course of the regular season. That Asmodan makes a ton of sense, as Zed 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 does play a fair amount of Asmodan, played him 3 times so far in the playoffs, so it's a high priority for them, a nice educated ban. Just as that Tomb of the Spider Queen map ban, Zed 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 loves themselves some Tomb, played 8 games there in the regular season, only lost 1, their highest played. Johanna, also a huge priority for Zed Zed Zed, so clearly Adults with Jobs has done their studying.
Yeah, I would say so. So the other bans, Diablo, Genji, all pretty meta stuff. And yeah, the Johanna ban I feel like is pretty targeted, I would almost say. She is good on the map in general, as Whitemane is the first pick on Zed Zed Zed. But, the wave clear that Johanna provides, she can do it very safely. Adults with Jobs, I wonder if they're willing to pick up their tank early on, maybe just pick up a tank and support here, or if there is some kind of damage that they are looking to prioritize. With Johanna gone, one pick that I like is either a Murden or a Garrosh, because then you're guaranteed to land CC on one of those other targets. Cassia picked up early here for Adults with Job. That's an interesting pick, and they're going to pair that up with Blaze.
Yeah, don't be surprised, too, if Zed Zed Zed, I believe... No, I'm confusing them. It's actually Adults with Jobs that goes with the Lily. They had a Lily-Cassia comp. So I wonder if that Cassia was maybe a little bit of a soft denial for that. But Blaze, very high priority for both teams. It's actually Adults with Jobs' second highest played hero over the season. So keeping that away from them as well as taking it for themselves.
Sonya picked up here on the side of Zed Zed Zed, and a Nubarak getting paired up with that. So that's a lot of crowd control that they're setting up. Cocoon is going to play obviously an important factor, but then there's Bunker on the opposite side. So it's a really, a kind of a back and forth kind of issue. Yeah, you may be able to Cocoon someone, but that doesn't mean your entire enemy opponents are now, necessarily vulnerable unless you Cocoon the Blaze and then there's no Bunker available, which is always a funny thing to do.
In my notes, too, coming into this game, the top offlaner for Zed 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 was Sonya, and the top offlaner for Adults with Job was Blaze, so they're kind of taking each other's heroes away here in this draft.
Jaina getting banned on the side of Adults with Jobs, so that's a pretty good ban, I would say. Wave clear is amazing. There is the Garrosh ban I kind of mentioned before, as Zed 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 will get rid of the Smork. Picks now for Adults with Jobs. I would expect them to get their tank and support here and then perhaps leave their last as a flex, unless there's some kind of damage that perhaps they really feel is necessary now. But in terms of support, there's a lot available. Deckard probably stands out the most in terms of what I would expect, unless they want to go for an Alex Straza, which is available. No, it is the Deckard, and they will pick up the Murden as seeing Garrosh gone.
Yeah, no surprise there is, whoops, sorry, I flipped my notes here. Deckard pretty highly prioritized for those guys. It's one of their more played supports. And I think you can make a pretty strong argument that Deckard is maybe top of the support meta, so no surprise pick there at all.
Gul'dan and Greymane getting picked up on the side of Zed Zed Zed. They have a lot of wave clear between those two heroes. Gul'dan obviously very good in those rotations, likely to be Echoed Corruption stacks as well. Yeah, I'm liking the draft by Zed Zed Zed. They've really set themselves up for map control. Sonya in the top lane up against Blaze, and Kel'Thas is the last pick for Adults with Jobs as their mage of choice. I mean, I don't know. These are pretty even drafts, I would say. I do like Zed Zed Zed's because I really like that Anubarak pick. You know, it's not necessarily standard amongst all of the players, but I think he's very strong with, you know, Muradin picked up on the opposite side. We'll have to see how the matchup works. So, and Yrel just getting completely ignored by these teams, which is interesting.
Well, yeah, and it's both these teams, you know, drafted pretty standard. You know, your tank, your bruiser, your support, your two assassins. So pretty straightforward draft from both sides. Maybe kind of feeling each other out in this first game, seeing where they feel they stack up against one another with a pretty standard game. Yep. And I anticipate we'll see adjustments from these guys as the series progresses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this one. It's like I said, I believe the draft is pretty even. I actually feel like Cassia might be the corner piece that Adults with Jobs needs. But here we go, game number 1 in our series between Adults with Jobs and Zed Zed Zed. On the left-hand side in blue, it is Adults with Jobs, with I Just Fizzed on Blaze, Retrofrunk playing Cassia, Randy on Kel'Thas, Nats on the Deckard, and Myrmidon playing that Muradin. And
on the red team, the Division A East champion, Zed Zed Zed. Kitsune on white main. Draken X on a gray main.
4, 3, 2.
Centner on Anubarak. Enjoy on Gul'dan. And Noob Slice on the Sonya.
Level 1 pickup so far. Everything seems to be pretty much standard. It is that Echoed Corruption build coming out from Gul'dan. Sonya going for Warpaint at level 1, likely to be up in that top lane up against Blaze. And how do you think that top lane actually is going to play out, the Sonya v Blaze matchup? Because I feel like if either team wants to come up on a rotation, hold on, we might have a level 1 pickoff already. Draconics is very low. Greymane will fall early on here. Flame Strike doing some value, but that will still be first blood going over to Adult with Jobs.
Yeah, my first thought as I was looking at these teams clash in the mid, Adults with Jobs has a lot of early game kill pressure, the Muradin stuns, the Blaze stuns, all of the CC from Deckard Cain, plus the blow-up damage from Kel'Thas and Cassia on top of that. That's a lot of pick potential there in the early game, and they showed it with the early Greymane kill.
Yeah, an interesting white main ran out of mana like super early in that first team fight. The later this game goes, though, I'm not sure which team gets the upper hand, because Zed Zed Zed, they have Gul'dan, who does do very well in the late game, but Kel'Thas as well. We might have another engagement in the middle as Retrofunk, Cassia going down, Enjoy putting down some great damage on that Echo Corruption, up to 6 stacks on that, and is now 1 kill apiece.
And now the aggressive invade, actually, from Zed 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 onto the bottom lane siege camp, taking advantage of Cassia just now spawning, and really Adults with Jobs not in a strong position to contest, at least quite yet, but here comes Muradin.
All right, that's the double knockup from Kel'Thas. Flame Strike is there. The siege camp does go over to Adults with Jobs. Does Zed Zed get away from this? It looks like they will do just that. So aggressive invade, got some good damage in, but camp ultimately goes over to Adults with Jobs.
Yeah, and in the early going, these sides kind of really flexing their team fighting chops, neither one being shy about getting in there and throwing down a little bit. Sonya in trouble in the bottom lane, and down she goes.
Yeah, down she goes. 4 members here on the side of Delta with I thought it was interesting to start with. I'm like, why is Sonya bottom right now anyways? Isn't the lane she should be in up against Blaze in the top? But Greymane is up there right now. And this might be aggressive moves here on the side of Delta Jobs, but Centner has the Burrow Charge over. They will be taking a look at stealing their opponent's siege camp.
Yeah, in counter invade answered by Adults with Jobs. This time they are actually successful in stealing the red side siege giants there.
Meanwhile, up at the top, Blaze having a back off. I Just Fizzed. Backing away from New Flipes and Draconics here. Sonya with that interrupt. This siege camp at the bottom finally getting cleaned up, but Adults with Jobs find themselves with almost a 1-level lead. That means they will get themselves closer to level 7 as well, and maybe look to make something happen as they actually start heading for their bruiser.
Yeah, you wondered about Sonya in the bottom lane. Well, she has come and relieved Greymane. She is here in the top lane battling with Blaze, who was able to secure that point, but teams continuing to kind of skirmish in the mid as well.
I mean, this game is always interesting, you know, especially when there's no dragon for the first, like, 12 minutes of the game. So far, it almost seems like that's the way we're headed. Still pretty even XP. Again, Adulto Jobs very slightly ahead, but now they have this Bruiser Camp pushing with them in the top lane as Greymane has started his own on the side of Zed Zed Zed, and we'll have to see if they decide to push in with this, as they have 4 members up here, leaving only Kel'Thas by himself at the bottom. And there are your level 7s.
Murden anchoring that bush, so they want some siege damage here in the top lane. Going to give Blaze some breathing room here in his one-on-one duel. Members of Zed 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 just now responding, but that whole front wall on the top lane is down.
Yeah, this wall goes down. The well under pressure. In addition to that, Enjoy on Gul'dan maybe getting flanked. No, stun goes out on the Draconics. And level 7 now achieved on the side of Zed Zed Zed. Intercession picked up from Whitemane, so she has a bit of a cleanse for herself. And yeah, like I said, this could be one of those games where neither team picks up a dragon until very late in the game. But early pressure from Adulto Jobs is good. And Zed Zed Zed, they grabbed the Bruiser Camp of their own, but they're not willing to push in here against Blaze. Instead, they're rotating to the middle. So perhaps a mistake, unless they can maybe look for a pick in the middle. As Randy maybe
is in trouble.
Yeah. That is not the rotation we're making on that side of the map. And Dragon Knight does go over to Adulto Jobs, but I don't know how much they're going to make use of this.
I mean, was that calculated, Graysville?
Yeah.
Buying time for the Cassia on the channel?
I mean, you're 5 minutes in. Like, how much does this dragon actually get you? I mean, I guess right now at the top, Sonya is pushing in slightly with that Bruiser Camp finally dying. But I don't feel like it was worth letting Kel'Thas die. I guess we'll find out in the end. I do like them pressuring bottom lane with this dragon, though, because this is the lane that the bruisers, or excuse me, the single bruiser and the siege giants are. So this can get a really big push in the bottom, sets up a win condition later on in the game as well.
Yeah, and they are getting value out of early game Dragon Knight here. Both the top and bottom wall, or bottom lane front walls for Zed 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 have been destroyed.
Absolutely. Level 10 is around the corner, though, for Adulto Jobs. They will not have it while this dragon is active, but they'll get it shortly after that, and we'll have to see if they can make use of that at all. I wouldn't expect anything too crazy in terms of ultimates. The only thing I'd question would whether you go Ball Lightning or Valkyrie in this situation. Because Valkyrie, you can try to pull, for example, the Whitemane towards your team, but then she can just give everyone armor and healing. Whereas Ball Lightning, you know, it's not always consistent.
No, but you do have 2.5 melee heroes, so you might be able to get a little extra value out of it, and that is the route that she does go. Ball Lightning for Cassia, Phoenix for Kel'Thas, Bunker Drop for Blaze. I believe that is Stay a While and Listen for Deckard Cain, and it is, and no Playmaker. It is going to be Avatar for Muradin.
And we have ultimates picked up on the opposite side. Everything pretty standard there as well. No leaps to Sonya, unfortunately. Cursed Bullet from Greymane as well. And yeah, level 10s are achieved for both teams. We did have one dragon taken so far. Adulto Jobs find themselves slightly ahead in XP. Sentinel down here in the bush, just scouting.
Randy in trouble again?
Yeah, those rotations, I mean, as Kel'Thas, obviously you want to be following your tank, but the rest of the team wrapped around the left side. You don't want to leave Kel'Thas by himself in the back. We saw Cursed Bullet already get it out early. Flame Strike will land on Sonya. She'll be able to spin away from this one. So, you know, only ultimate getting used is the Cursed Bullet here. Blaze headed back to the top. Greymane headed away as well, and Shrines are beginning to activate now. So, a lot of back and forth trading, but still 2 kills to 2.
Yeah, very even. Just a slight XP lead with the extra structure damage they have for Adults with the Jobs. And they've also been a little bit more aggressive on these Merc Camp rotations as Muradin Dwarf tosses in, gets horrified into the entire enemy team. Avatar, Cursed Bullet goes out. Muradin goes down. Randy now in trouble. Zed 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 making their move. Storytime catches 2 before it's interrupted. Adults with Jobs still running for their lives It looks like only Muradin will fall, with Deckard, Kael'thas, and Cassia escaping bruised but alive.
Yeah, nice plays there from Sentner, getting the cocoon on the Deckard, and then they followed up with Horrify, so they secured themselves that kill as well. It was also interesting, he used the Impale while the Stale of Wild and Listen was getting channeled, so that's why it was interrupted like that. Blaze in the middle is protecting up against that Dragon Knight being captured for the time being, as Muradin is finally making his way back here. Even experienced yet again, no 13th advantage. However, that Bruiser at the up camp at the top is getting cleaned up by Noob Slice. And meanwhile, at the bottom, we might have a fight over the point itself. Randy getting some good damage in. Ball Lightning goes out. Cassia will die, though. Living Bomb continues to spread, and Randy will survive for now, but that is another kill going over to Zed Zed Zed.
And that was despite actually a cursed bullet from Greymane that just missed on the Cassia, but still able to confirm the kill anyway. And in the mid lane, channeling that Dragon Knight for Zed 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 was Sonya, now pushing down mid lane.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how the Delta Job's going to respond. Obviously, Kael'thas very good at anti-sieging. Cursed Bullet can use to try to zone the Kael'thas, or excuse me, the Muradin away. So the wall goes down, and yeah, I do like this prioritization of going bottom lane. They want to at least try to match the amount of damage their opponents did here earlier, and again, those Siege Giants at the bottom usually get a lot of good value. And we'll have to see, I Just Fizz coming with a flank on Blaze here, going in, Bunker's getting used early, the Dragon Knight is still up, Enjoy is now here as well. And the Dragon goes down. Myrmidon jumping in. Stay well hits nobody. Maybe missed aim that one. Myrmidon under heavy pressure. Avatar is getting used. Phoenix, oh, that Horrify. Murden going down. Cocoon getting used early as well. I Just Fizz on Blaze. Very low. Ball Lightning perhaps used as a disengage. And that is one kill. And all of that going out over to Zed Zed Zed.
Yeah, Enjoy, man. He's had two huge Horrifies. Both of them led to a kill. Cassia with the great kind of defensive Ball Lightning that forced Zed 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 to kind of break up the party and possibly saved Blaze as he was under a lot of pressure and losing health real quick.
Yeah, well, we got a moment. Let's take a look at these damage numbers for you. Kael'thas doing some great damage. You know, those Living Bombs have been getting good value, I would say. Flame Strikes have been on point as well. Greymane and Gul'dan right behind. And it looks like, yeah, this Siege Camp will go over to Delta Jobs, as the will match their opponents. And for now, it's kind of a standstill. I mean, we're so even still in this game, like in terms of structures, in terms of like camps getting taken. I'm really thinking this game is going to come down to a late game team fight, being one, you know, getting one way or the other. And so far, Zed Zed Zed, they are ahead in kills.
Yeah, they've actually had 4 unanswered kills here, and that combined with that last Dragon Knight and the siege damage that came with it, finally allowed them to overtake that XP lead that Adults with Jobs had early. Neither side has really had it decisively, but most of the early game, Adults with Jobs has been up just a little bit, and now Zed 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 up just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, but you know, in the end, sometimes that's what matters, especially when it comes to talent advantage. They will be getting level 16 first, and I like this play by them, pushing in the bottom, getting rid of that well. That'll help reduce some of that sustain that Adults with Jobs will have here in the bottom lane, as Sonya is up in the top lane up against Blaze, but we'll have to see how aggressive they get here in the bottom.
Yeah, 16's right on the horizon here for Zed Zed Zed. I would be curious if they want to push that small window that they're going to have here in just a few seconds as those talents get on the board.
Yeah, it's not going to be a large window. Sonya channeling at the top, this one at the bottom, going over to Zed 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 as well. However, they don't have anyone positioned to capitalize on that yet. Deckard throws out the roots. I mean, if anything, they could pressure bottom still, but yeah, it's so razor thin. They just got 16 at the same time, essentially, that their opponents did as well. There is a Bruiser Camp still available for Delta Jobs to take if they choose to do so, to just put some pressure on that. As Randy taking a huge amount of damage, gets the knock-up, already having to use that shield as well. Meanwhile, on the bottom, Setner holding the point, up against Murderduck on Muradin. Cocoon going out onto Muradin, diving in on Nats. Didn't get their ball. Lightning getting used as well. Retrofunk jumping in. Horrify only landing on the Cassia. Murderduck is now out of the Cocoon. Randy getting dove on the backside. Kel'Thas will fall. Stay well. Listen does go down. White Mane falling as well. So Zed Zed Zed, they do lose the healer. Are they willing to stick around? Well, that answered that question. They did stick around, and unfortunately, they lost a Greymane in the process.
Yeah, Greymane was so low, Muradin just kind of stuck on him, and nobody really there to peel that Muradin off, finalizing the kill on the Greymane.
So, with that, Adults with Jobs, they get themselves a slight XP lead. In fact, they might dive onto Nubrak, or he does have the burrow charge away from that one. But, I'm not sure. Have they really capitalized enough off of that set of wins, those set of kills? I mean, they could have gone for camps at this point. They tried to pressure bottom lane in, but now Enjoy on Gul'dan already starting the siege camp of his own. Sonya sitting in the middle, and the Dragon Shrine at the top is still in control of Zed Zed Zed, as this might be aggressive plays once again. Setner jumping on the boy. Cocoon going out onto the Deckard. Randy in the backline has a Sonya on him. Noob's Life just spinning to win all day. Kel'Thas goes down. Stay Wild, listen, gonna try to disengage, but that won't be enough. Cassie goes down. Bunker, oh, the Horrify! And that is 3 kills going over to Zed Zed Zed. They are very low, but White Mane keeping the team alive. Kitsune gets away from the Blaze for now. And my goodness, what a huge amount of damage came out there from Zed Zed. That Horrify was amazing. I mean, there was a lot of good plays in that team fight.
Yeah, good team execution all around, but that whole engagement was set up. Noob Slice basically followed Kel'Thas on the backside, and Kel'Thas had to choose between not going into the fight or doing so with Sonya, riding him the whole way in. And that's the choice he made, and Sonya just got so much damage onto Kel'Thas, eventually finishing off the kill, completely took him out of the fight, and then was able to do the same on Cassia. You know, Sonya unopposed on the backline is a problem.
Yeah, you don't want Sonya just landing spears and slams on your Kel'Thas, obviously. He does have the shield, 32 stacks on his Globe Talon, so he will have a sizable shield, but not enough to save from Sonya. And this bottom lane under pressure. Zed 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 sieging do not have level 20. This is Adults with Jobs' opportunity to perhaps make something happen, as the ball lightning getting used, as well as that Phoenix. Gul'dan is the one in the Dragon, and that is notable because that means they don't have Horrify as an engagement, and obviously missing a bit of damage with him in the Dragon as well. But they're going to rotate back to the middle, get more keep walls, and that will get them closer to level 20.
Yeah, they're really knocking on the door of that 20. Weren't able to get more than a bottom keep wall, but you know, sometimes taking what you can get and setting yourself up for later in the game is the way to go. Muradin aggressively dwarf tossing out pretty far forward. Lands a Stormbolt on a noob. Team still skirmishing. It looks like maybe Adults with Jobs trying to force a fight before 20, but Zed 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 not having any part of that.
Yeah, Noob Slice was not shown in the top lane, so they didn't know Sonya was there quite yet. But she is just body soaking to get themselves closer to 20. And Adults with Jobs, yeah, they're going to be down a talent here for, you know, probably a minute and a half at least while they get these lanes pushed out. But Sonya pushing the top lane, and that Bruiser camp was picked up as well in the top, so that's going to be a big push for Zed 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 as they do pick up their level 20s. Hunter's Blunderbuss coming out from Greymane. We do have that Haunt coming out. It's the additional duration and I believe armor reduction on the Horrify? Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be impactful, again, because I believe, you know, the Horrifies have been pretty on point from Enjoy here on Gul'dan, so that's going to be impactful for them. And yeah, Zed Zed Zed, they kind of just walk around now and try to take control of the map, but that's better for Adults with Jobs unless they get aggressively invaded.
And they're moving that direction, Graves.
Yeah, they're moving that direction indeed. The corruption confirms that they were on the camp, and Setner says, thank you very much, we will take this camp from you, and there's not really anything Adults with Jobs can do about it.
No, and you could tell by their body language, they just, once they realized that Zed 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 was on the way, out they went, no contest, just backing up and clear it out after capping.
So Shrine's activating in 20 seconds here. That's not enough time for Adults with Jobs to get level 20 themselves. They'll get close. They do need to clean up the top lane that Bruiser was pushing in. Blaze already headed there. They do see their opponent's bottom lane, so they know they should be pretty safe here. And yeah, the shrines are activated. Also interesting, no globals from either of the teams, so there's not any like cheeky plays you can do where you go to one shrine and then go to the other, which it was a little surprising. You know, sometimes you see like a Dahaka, for example, on this map in particular. A little bit of a bush party perhaps, but Kisune just showed, as did Draconics. I don't think they're going to get anyone caught out here unless they get a Cocoon out. They're looking for Cassia, and Retrofront just gets deleted. Cassie goes down, stay a while, and listen lands, but it's going to be too little, too late.
Yeah, the execution there from Zed Zed Zed, and it was the execution of the play and the execution of Cassia, because she went down very quickly. Using these beetles from Anub'arak to tank the keep too, allowing the siege to continue until the minion wave catches up. First keep of the game going to Zed Zed Zed, and Adults with Jobs on the back foot a little. However, Silver Linings, they did pick up level 20s and will be on even tiers.
Blaze taking the shrine at the bottom and then Hearthing immediately. Kalthos, by the way, going for Ignite, and then at level 20 picking up that Flamethrower. That's going to be a lot of damage late game. And again, that's what I mentioned. Who really has the late game? Because both of them have really late game damage. Sonya obviously scales really well herself. You know, this level 20 is a piece. This is going to come down to, again, get another team fight. I just Fizz coming in here, making sure no one's here. And it looks like we have rotations down. Adults with Jobs, they have the man advantage. But Dragon Knight goes over to Zed Zed Zed. Will it be worth it? Sentner, oh my goodness, that white mane healing, keeping him alive. The burrow charge away. I can't believe that Anub'arak survived there.
Yeah, white mane, white mane, white mane. That was all on that Anub'arak there, keeping him going. And now Greymane goes down very quickly. I love this play by Adults with Jobs, not letting this Dragon Knight get to the core. Fighting out in the lane, not allowing them to try to end. Deckard Cain, the second man to fall, closely followed by Anub'arak, but Adults with Jobs holding strong here. Gul'dan now going down. Cassia as well, a bloodbath. White Mane's going to go down too. Everybody who is not inside a Dragon Knight is down for Zed Zed Zed.
My goodness, that is so much back and forth happening in that team fight. There was Horrify used to disengage. I liked the flank idea from Greymane that initially started that, but Muradin was there to catch that flank, and then they, oh my goodness. And now is Randy under pressure of the Dragon Knight. 30
Randy,
seconds
no!
left on this. The punch, will it be enough? No, he used the shield. Randy survives. My goodness.
Really, you know, at this point in the game, basically a minute 20 DK with no keep in the bottom lane. If you're the shot caller for Zed Zed Zed, you have to be thinking about getting a kill or two and ending the game. But Adults with Jobs really heads up, taking the fight out in the lane, not even letting them get to the core. Really heads up defense there from those guys to win the team fight and completely nullify that Dragon Knight. It accomplished nothing, actually.
I mean, obviously, the good thing for Zed Zed is they did get the keep. So the keep at the bottom is gone. That'll be Catapults mounting up against Adults with Job for the rest of the game. But they have pretty decent wave clear to take care of that. But Catapults, 20-plus minutes in, they really start to add up. But yeah, nice win condition opened up for Zed Zed Zed. And again, we're 21 minutes in, and it feels like we're just kind of starting over once again. Adults with Jobs, they do need to get pressure on the map, though, I feel. Because even if they win a team fight, I don't see them getting a keep, perhaps.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing as we have another brawl breaking out. Sonya going super deep, just causing so much havoc on the backline. Stay a while and listen. Horrified going out. Sonya, less than 100 hit points, finally goes down. Adults with Jobs making the moves, Gravesville. Bunker goes down, White Mane goes down, Zed 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 on the full retreat. If you wanted map pressure from Adults with Jobs, now's the time, my friend.
My goodness, that damage coming out there from Adults with Jobs. I mean, Kel'Thas really ramping up here once we get in the late game. In fact, now we can pull up those numbers again. And yeah, I didn't mention Cassia. Ball Lightning was used early, and it actually got a lot of value. Yeah, I'm liking this late game play from Adults with Jobs, but look, they killed multiple members, and they got a fort, and that's it. Like, getting this camp, I guess, is good if they're going to push with it. But Cassia having to go back and defend top keep. So despite winning the team fight, they only got themselves one building.
Yeah, this is as close as this game feels. 12 kills to 10, completely equal in level. I think the difference in the game has 100% been Zed 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 has taken the opportunities that they've had and capitalized on them better than Adults with Jobs has. And most of the big moments for Adults with Jobs has been on the defensive. So they're on the defensive side of the map. They have a long walk to take to try to capitalize on something. So they just haven't put themselves in position to take advantage of those kills and to get structural damage and to put themselves in a position to win the game off the back of a team fight in the same way that Zed 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 has.
Right. And Zed Zed Zed, they were bottom lane, pressuring in with those catapults. In fact, this might be an engagement. Here's Curse Bull, and the Horrified Blaze just gets deleted before he can even use the bunker. Randy had to back out. Noob Slices on the backline. Stay well and listen. No, gets interrupted thanks to that cocoon. Kel'Thas, the flame strikes are there. The cocoon is about to fall. Do they get Deckard? There's the spear from Sonya. Deckard going down. That is 2 kills. Going over to Zed Zed Zed. And what did they make of this one? They could go get the dragons at that point. It doesn't look like they're willing to go for core quite yet.
I mean, they have 2 katas on core that Adults with Jobs has to respond to. I think if you're Zed Zed Dead, a 24-minute DK, you have to be thinking end the game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, they're losing this keep at the fort at the top. That's nothing because this Dragon Knight can basically march straight towards the core. It'll still be 20 seconds left for Blaze, 30 yet for the Deckard. And this might be just game for Zed Zed Zed. This has to be a miracle defense for Adults with Jobs, but they do have Kel'Thas up, and he's very good at defending. But Retrofunk might not be so lucky as Center coming in and Cassia going down, and that will just be the nail in the coffin as Center even using the cocoon onto Murden to make sure they can get Randy perhaps. But yeah, this looks like they're going to march this Dragon Knight straight to the core.
I saw some chatter in Twitch chat after the draft. Why Gul'dan? Why the Gul'dan? Well, we've seen the Horrifies from Enjoy, and that is your answer. Why the Gul'dan? Because they were all money this whole game.
Absolutely. So that will be game number 1 in a best of 5 series going over to Zed Zed Zed.
That was a fun one. That was a really fun game.
That was a fun game. All right, we can take a look at these final numbers for y'all folks at home. 25 minutes here on Dragonshire, 10 kills to 15. There was a lot of back and forth, but you basically had, I feel like, nailed it. It was, yes, it was very even, but at the end of the day, Zed Zed Zed, they did really everything right, and they felt like ahead, even though it felt close, but then Zed 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 was always ahead.
Yeah, there was about 2/3 of the way through that game, I was thinking to myself, man, what a great game. This is so close. And I look at the mini map, and there's all of the red structures are up and not nearly as many blue structures on the board. And for a game where the kills were pretty close until right there at the end, and the level was pretty close throughout, structurally, Zed 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 just maximized really every opportunity they had.
Yeah, do you think there's anything that perhaps could have changed in the drafting for Adults with Job? They did pick up the Cassia Blaze early. The bunkers, I don't think it was necessarily the player, but the impact of the bunkers weren't there because I feel like Horrify kind of countered that. I don't know.
And Adults with Jobs had the tools to deal with the kind of pick out a target and execute them composition style that Zed 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 was running. Mm-hmm. But Zed 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 was so quick, they were so fast in what they were doing it, that by the time the bunker came out, or by the time the Stay a While and Listen came out, the target was dead.
Right. All right, so it looks like we do have our map pick. This Adults with Job choosing map pick, and looks like we are going to be headed to Towers of Doom. Now, this is an interesting map. This isn't one that can really snowball out of control. Usually this game lasts a little bit longer, perhaps similar to the game we just saw. But I don't know. That was pretty dominant performance, I'd say, from Zed Zed Zed. Adults with Jobs, I don't know if there's much in the draft that they really can change, but maybe just their play. Cassie getting caught several times, maybe they should look to protect their backline, or maybe they can be aggressive themselves. There's a lot of ways you can go with that one, I feel.
I don't think the assassins for Adults with Jobs were ever comfortable that game. Sonya was really good about putting pressure on that on the back line, and as a result, Cassia and Kael'thas just really didn't have room to operate. A Sonya ban wouldn't surprise me, as Zed Zed Zed, it is far and away their most highly prioritized, off-tank hero.
Yep.
So don't be surprised if you get that Sonya ban coming out from Adults with Jobs there.
Absolutely. All right, so we're just getting everyone into the lobby here. As a reminder for everyone watching at home as well, after this game, game number 2, we are going to be showing our Division A All-Stars. So we have that to look forward to as well. And I believe, no spoilers, but I think some of those members in one of these teams might be there. Usually, All-Stars, they kind of tend to be on good teams.
You would think.
You would think so. But yeah, Towers of Doom. Since we have a moment, let's talk about Towers. So Towers is always an interesting map to me because there's a lot of macro play that is involved. I mentioned last game how there wasn't any global being used. Sometimes you see that on this map as well. You want the global pressure, and then you can, for example, the very first objective, it's always a triple altar. 2 at the top and then 1 in the middle or bottom. And you kind of prioritize which way you want to go with that. I don't know if either of these teams are willing to go that route, but I would expect to see a Gul'dan or Kael'thas once again, because I do feel like those were pretty good corner pieces to both of these teams.
Yeah, definitely. The Gul'dan in particular was noticeably impactful in all of those team fights. It seemed like the pivotal point in the fight was when Horrify went out. And I think Towers of Doom, when you have 2 teams that are clearly very competitive like these teams are, Towers of Doom always produces the best games. You could see Abba's here and the Globals, the Dahaka Brightwing, Falstad. You've also seen teams build around hammer comps and shoving down that bottom lane. Mm-hmm. And on Towers, due to the unique map mechanic that allows you to channel the bell towers and win, we've seen some pretty crazy comebacks. So really, it's not over till it's over. This is probably my favorite map to watch when you have 2 really close teams like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, Adults with Jobs choosing map pick. Zed Zed Zed, they will have first pick, and taking out that Asmodan once again. Last time Adults with Job, they banned the Genji. I feel like that's probably still a pretty smart ban. He's really great at harassing the backline. He's great in rotations on this map. They're going to get rid of White Mane. I do feel like the White Mane was also a very important reason Zed 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 won that game.
I think you can... And there's the ABBA ban that we're talking about on Towers. That last game, I think it's really hard to isolate out a particular hero that was a problem from Zed Zed Zed, because you look at all of them and they were all a problem. They were all played so well and in tandem. It's hard to isolate out a single hero, but we looked at that moment in the game with Anubarak holding that bottom shrine basically by himself with the White Mane solo heal, and that's why you don't want the White Mane in there, because Anubarak under any other circumstance is going to die in that bottom lane there.
Absolutely. And I mentioned it before, Zed Zed Zed, they will pick up the global and they'll pick Dahaka first pick. Adults with Jobs, do they answer with a global of their own? Normally you might see, for example, a Falstad, although that is a little less common, or you just don't have a global and you have someone that can rotate quickly. But you do have to keep in mind, how they do in the matchups in that solo lane. They went for Blaze last time, not willing to pick up Blaze early this time. They're going to pick up Johanna and Deckard once again.
And insta-pick Genji for Zed Zed Zed, thinking a little bit more, going with a Muradin. So the front line online for Zed 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 already in the form of Muradin Dahaka.
Yeah, I'm liking this start from Zed Zed Zed. Muradin Dahaka is a great pairing. You get the Stormbolt into the Lickitung from Dahaka. And obviously, that for all the reasons we mentioned earlier, Genji is just pretty good in general. And on this map, bans for Delta Job, they could get rid of a support, or they could get rid of a damage dealer like that Gul'dan that we mentioned earlier. They are going to get rid of the support in Tyrande, which that would be a deadly change, CC, that I wouldn't want to deal with either.
Well, Zed 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 showed they're already really good at running that kind of thing. And if you add a Tyrande Lunar Flare and the Hunter's Mark onto the Storm Bolt in the tongue. That's a dead whoever they were isolating out. Cassia banned out from Zed Zed Zed.
All right, so picks now for Adults with Jobs. They need some damage. They need someone in the solo lane up against a Haka as well. Seeing Genji on the opposite side, I do feel like they need more crowd control, you know, a stun, a root. They just need something to lock him down, because if Genji can just, you know, run it down on the backline, it's going to have a bad time. Yrel will be the pick in that solo lane up against the Haka, and Kael'thas once again for Adults with Jobs.
Yeah, I really like that Yrel pick too. She can help respond to the Genji diving on her own team with the armor and kind of slapping Genji away from the back line, really helping to babysit the Kael'thas and whoever goes back there. Also in the solo lane, will bully Dahaka up there to kind of counteract his ability to move all over the map. Just owning that top lane would really be huge for Adults with Jobs.
Wow, last picks for Zed Zed Zed. They're going to pick up Alexstrasza and Tychus as their damage dealer. Very interesting. That will give them some good zoning tools, both the Alexstrasza and the Tychus. You have the Dragon Queen and the Commandeer Odin, so that gives them a lot of great tools to actually take a shrine or even interrupt it. So very interesting picks there from Zed Zed Zed. Last pick though for Adults with Jobs, they just need some damage.
And it's going to be Alarak. That's an interesting response to the Genji. Only one vulnerable backliner in the form of Kael'thas. And then waiting for Genji back there is going to be an Alarak with his silence. If Genji gets silenced, he's pretty much toast. A Yrel to give everybody armor. And Enjoy is really going to have his work cut out for him on the Genji with an Alarak hanging around on the backside there.
Yeah, absolutely. I would expect this to be an extra Genji, because I know I wouldn't want to be caught anywhere near some of those team members. But yeah, I like the Alarak pick. I think it's a really good response. You could even have Alarak in the solo up against a Haka, though he might get more value trying to get sadism stacks on ganks. But I always say that Alarak is a very confident pick, because you have to be confident to play with Alarak on your team. If he gets those combos, great. I mean, that's how you want to do it. But if you're not confident enough to play that play style, you're going to have a bad time.
And also looking at these comps, Gravesville, wave clear advantage, I think, strongly in the favor of Adults with Jobs here with the Johanna and the Kael'thas. Everybody other than Deckard has, you know, at least decent wave clear on the side of Adults with Jobs. On the flip side, you know, Genji doesn't offer much. Tychus is okay. But the Johanna and the Kael'thas in particular are really going to give Adults with Jobs a wave clear advantage.
Very true. Well, here we go. Game number 2 in our best of 5 series between Adults with Jobs and Zed Zed Zed. On the right-hand side, it is Zed Zed Zed, with Kitsune on the Alexstrasza, Draconics playing that Tychus Noob Slice on the Haka Centner on Muradin, and Enjoy playing the Genji.
And the blue team, Adults with Jobs, featuring Retro Funk on Alarak, Marmaduke, I'm going to say, on Johanna. I just fizzed on Yrel. Nats on Deckard Cage, and Randy back on the Kael'thas.
Level 1 pickup from Alarak, going for that extended lightning. You know, trying to get it earlier here in this 5-man stack. It's a difficult quest, but when you complete it, it feels so good. I always lose the games where I complete it and win the games where I don't. So maybe that's the case for Adults with Jobs. We'll have to see how that works out. Retrofunk trying to get the gank on Enjoy. Does get away down here at the bottom, so it will be plays v Dahaka, or excuse me, Yrel v Dahaka in the top lane as we expected, and aggressive plays from Adults with Jobs pressuring this bottom lane.
Well, I mean, look how quickly they cleared out those waves, and it allows them to posture aggressively on the rotation, dismount Zed Zed Zed, cut them off in rotation, maybe get a pick with the silence Muradin taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, damage taken early on. Alexstrasza going for Q, the live and let live. And yeah, I like these rotations so far on the side of Adults with Jobs. Enjoy getting some harassment, and Nats might have the root on him. The stun wasn't, or the damage wasn't quite there, but Genji, I mean, he has to back away already. Zed Zed Zed, they do start their sapper camp earlier than their opponents, though, so that is one advantage to them, and the bottom lane usually is the priority on this map.
Well, I mean, you saw how hard Yrel won that top lane. She won it so hard, she was able to rotate all the way down to the mid lane, pressure the Genji, and not miss any soak on the top. But Dahaka is here. This is a 5-on-4 for Zed Zed Zed. Alarak is gone. First blood over for Zed Zed Zed.
And the body blocks are there on a Johanna as well. That might be another kill. Indeed it is. Zed 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 picking up 2 kills and going to take away their opponent's camp. Great jobs from them early on in this game. I mean, if you lack wave clear, you can make up for it just getting kills, right?
Especially with the Dahaka on towers in particular, and on those specific Merc camps, it basically gives you a 5-on-4 whenever you want it, and that's exactly what Zed 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 took advantage of there.
Tychus going for In the Rhythm at level 4. Again, more pressure down here in the bottom lane, and there are your first ultras of the game. Again, 2 at the top, 1 down here at the bottom. Dahaka basically double soaking at this point. Genji grabbing some soak at the top while he is there. But, yeah, normally the way this plays out with the global is you have the global in the top, grabbing it, then you burrow down and try to get a pick as Genji is slowly making his way down here, though. We'll have to see how the team's positioned for this.
And looking at the mini-map here, Zed 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 looks like they have the advantage in positioning here, although Muradin is getting chunked out pretty good. Poke coming out from the Genji, and you're going to see Dahaka coming here shortly, I would imagine.
All right, he's burrowing aggressively. Randy on the backside does get the tongue on him, but the damage isn't there, but that will be enough to get him away. Dragon Queen getting used as well by Kitsune. Gonna lay down the heal as well. Enjoy on Genji channeling in the backline here. I Just Fizz looking for an interrupt. Gets it. I Just Fizz, though, now caught with Draconics, and Tychus just melting that Yrel. The Dragon Queen is gone now, though, and we'll have to see if Delta Jobs wants to still stick around here and harass this out, because Zed Zed Zed, they just used a lot of cooldowns, but it looks like they will get the channel.
Yeah, so much damage taken by Adults with Jobs to get that first interrupt. They basically didn't have anything left in the tank to continue the fight after.
Yeah, I would agree. That's basically how that went down. And again, I feel like Zed 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 with the Odin as well, that's just going to be so many tools that they have at their disposal that Adults with Jobs, they really need to make something happen early almost. And that's, again, why I kind of liked the Alarak pick, because if you just get a pick early and a silence on a Genji, for example, he's just 100% dead.
Yeah, that's what they really need to get value out of that Alarak, particularly post 10. You hit the nail on the head. Zed 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 in either a single altar spawn or when these two teams clash over any of these altars, Dragon Queen comes out and Odin comes out, and that's Zed Zed Zed's way of saying, this is our shrine.
Well, our shrine. What about this camp? Center jumping away. Aggressive plays from Adults with Jobs. Noob Slice coming in. Randy very low in the back line. The Alarak combo did land, silencing several members. However, that will not be enough to save Johanna. And Randy on Kel'Thas. Oh, he's got the stun and Enjoys there as well. Another kill going over to Zed Zed Zed, and they're not done here yet. Retrofunk, all right, he is able to get away, but Enjoy on Genji gets another kill. 3 kills right before the altar spawns, and they're going to take away their opponent's camp.
The second game in a row, Graysville, Noob Slice, first on Sonya and now on Dahaka, has just been all over Kael'thas. He just has no room to breathe, no room to operate. That off-lane hero for Zed 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 is just all over the Kael'thas and really making his life difficult.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, objective, Noob Slice is going to be channeling in here at the bottom. We have multiple channels in the middle. Looks like they'll get interrupted, but Dahaka can just waddle his way back. Retrofunk going in. He is already very low to start with this. I don't know if they actually want to engage on this, as the knock-up with the root from Deckard actually might be enough. Draconics is low. Kitsune dropped the Dragon Queen, but Tychus still will fall. Sentner has a living bomb on him. Kitsune with one more heal, but that is a kill going over to Adults with Jobs, and maybe Zed Zed Zed, they have to back away from this. Yeah, I think they just took too much damage too early. Oh, Kitsune! Wait, the invulnerable frames saves her for now. That was insane.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
Yeah, the invulnerable frames when she's swapping to and from the dragon actually saved her from death there, funny enough.
But that little sequence there was really big, I think, for Adults with Jobs. They kind of finally got something to break their way. They didn't allow the clean sweep on the double altar phase, able to pick up a kill and fight through Dragon Knight, get a little momentum, a little morale building, kind of small victory in the early game here.
So pretty even in terms of XP. Zed 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 slightly ahead thanks to those kills that they've gotten earlier in the game. They will get themselves closer to level 10. Next objective will be a double altar spawning in the top lane. But again, bottom lane where it's at. Zed Zed Zed. They have their camp cleaned up early. Enjoy and Genji looking for a flank perhaps. And no one's... Murmiduk and Johanna, regardless, should get away from this one. But again, this is where Dahaka plays in. If Zed Zed Zed, if they want to pick a fight, he can be here, like, just in the nick of time, getting a kill.
I feel like Zed 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 is baiting this. They're kind of hanging around waiting for 10, and I think they're just hoping to catch somebody when they get 10 here, because that's going to come here in probably the next 10 to 15 seconds. Tychus does get caught by Chaos. Urel diving onto him. Scroll of Ceiling just misses. But Johanna getting chunked out again. Johanna really taking a beating this whole game. She always seems to be taking the brunt of the damage and not really quite able to hang out in that front line probably as much as she'd like.
So level 10 is achieved for Zed Zed Zed. Isolation Odin. It is not the X-Strike. It is going to be Dragonblade, Lifebinder, and Avatar. And hold on, this might be a dead Johanna. Pops the Iron Skin early, but Johanna gets away from this one. Nats throwing down the potion. Johanna will survive. But still no level 10 for Delta Jobs.
I'm very surprised they're here considering they don't have 10. I thought this would be kind of an easy give. They're not quite there yet, but they're trying to hang around, hopefully get 10 here in the next, 10, 15, 20 seconds here and be able to contest this. Johanna barely able to walk away from that, but the Adults with Jobs kind of hanging out, and they're very close to 10.
They are close. Randy gets the knock-up. Living Bomb will be there. Might spread onto Tychus. It does indeed, so that's a lot of damage on the Tychus early as well. We do have all ultimates available, though, for Zed Zed Zed, as I Just Fizz is going to back away. Alarak looking for Soak in the middle to try to get that 10. They're not quite there, but there's the Dragon Blade going out in the backline. Isolation was used on Johanna as well. Enjoy looking for kill, doesn't get it. Johanna gets away for now. I Just Fizz going to go ahead and use that Ardent Defender. But Murmiduk is low. Oh, Tychus Grenade almost finishing that. Lifebinder getting used to keep Tychus alive. And Retrofunk, meanwhile, looking for a flank. It survives for now, but just barely uses the ultimate, but doesn't grab it. Well, the tongue is going to grab Johanna. The Iron Skin to save her. Murmiduk survives for now. No! Johanna finally going down. Retrofunk looking for a combo. Oh, and the damage is there. 2 kills going over to Zed Zed Zed.
That was an absolutely crazy sequence there. Adults with Jobs actually were kind of able to get mission accomplished. They managed to stall, and pick up their 10, and then it was kind of a very scattered engagement. Alarak went all the way around the backside looking for a big flank, actually got caught and almost killed. But finally, after a long, protracted fight, Johanna falling and the altar going over to Zed Zed Zed.
Yeah, I think that was a really difficult position for Alarak. He's looking for a flank, but because of the positioning there, it's so difficult because it's such a long way around. Like, if he gets caught out, there's no way his healer gets in time to save him. Siege Camp picked up by Zed Zed Zed. The same happens here on Adults with Jobs. But I would expect that same type of playstyle for Adults with Jobs for the rest of the game. They're just going to try to get Alarak on the backline getting kills, and maybe one of these times it will work out for them. So while we have a moment, let's take a look at some of these damage again. Alarak is topping the damage charts. Kel'Thas right behind. Tychus and Muradin as well, pretty high. He did go for that Give Him the Axe at level 7, which, is a surprising amount of damage if you've never placed a Give Him the Axe Muradin. Altar spawning, only the single one in the bottom lane here. Dahaka at the top via Rel, but that's a lot of damage already that Zed Zed has taken. Kel'Thas, Randy, doing a great job once again.
I will say, though, despite the damage numbers coming out from Alarak, I was just kind of looking over the composition that Zed 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 has trotted out here, and they have a lot of heroes that are very difficult to bring down. Avatar, as Randy is in trouble once again, they just YOLO past Johanna right onto Kel'Thas, and down he goes.
Yeah, Isolation getting used on Johanna as well. There is the Odin. Stay well and listen will land on the 2 members, but looks like Adults with Jobs, this team fight is already lost for them. The channel is going to start on the backside. I don't even know. I don't think they probably should have even committed to Odin that unless they're going to, leave it to the siege. Yeah.
But what I started to say was, I mean, Avatar, the Commandeer Odin with the armor, the extra health bars with the Essence and the Dahaka, and then when all else fails, you have the Life Binder from Alex Straza. A lot of second health bars on the side of Zed Zed Zed.
Wow, and they're giving Dragon Queen to this push. Again, you do want to push the bottom lane. Emerald getting used by Deckard as the I Just Fizz looking for flank on the backside here on Yrel, pushing the Noob Slice into the towers. The knocker from Kel'Thas is there. Kitsune, the Dragon Queen, is down. Flame Strike from Kel'Thas will kill off the Dahaka. Finally, I Just Fizz is low, as is Myrmidon, so the front line is low, but Retrofunk is alive and looking for the damage as Draconics and Tychus will go down, as does the Alex Straza. 3 kills going over to Adultus Jobs, and that is exactly the kills that they were looking for. Oh, that reset! No! Myrmidon goes down! Oh, I thought for sure Yrel was dead there.
That is really what Adults with Jobs needed there. Zed 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 kind of stepping in, a huge flank, knocking Dahaka under the tower. I almost think maybe Zed 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 should have left him for dead and just walked away, but instead they hung around. But even watching that fight, look at how hard Adults with Jobs had to work to finish off those kills. Nothing was easy, even in a situation where everything went right.
Yeah, they really don't have a finisher, to be quite honest. I mean, they have Kel'Thas that can do just, you know, the incremental damage, which has been impactful, but unless they just have Yrel trying to Goomba stomp all over their opponents, there really isn't anywhere to finish them off, unless they just decide to chase with, like, an Alarak, for example.
But this is a huge, huge moment here for Adults with Jobs. Triple Altar Spawn, Yrel in the upper left, all the other members of Adults with Jobs in the mid here. It looks like mid is going to go over to for free to Adults with Jobs. Zed 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 opting to take the top right and take back their keep. But Johanna is here to defend. Adults with Jobs not letting this go, Graves.
Yeah, Odin getting used as well. Myrmidon trying to harass them off. Sentner getting pulled in from Retrofunk there. The heals from Alex Straza are on the point. Dragonblade going to use a Randy is low. He already used the shield. Kel'Thas will fall here. Dragonblade still going. I Just Fizz looking for a kill on the back line. Stay While Listen was used as well. Zed 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 is very low, but they are up 1 kill. Oh, I Just Fizz jumping in deep. Gets the kill on a Tychus, and that Ardent Defender makes sure that I Just Fizz stays alive. 1-for-1 trade.
That's just Yrel things. They're diving into the demilitarized zone there, knowing that you have Ardent Defender up and you're perfectly fine.
Yeah, so they ended up trading that out. Zed Zed Zed, they took a lot of damage just at the end there and had to back out. Maybe stuck around a little too long, but again, that's good on Adults with Jobs. That is exactly what they need to be doing here. As they pick up level 16, they have found themselves 1 level ahead, and they still have control of this bottom lane. Sappers will be spawning again in about 30 seconds, a minute and a half, so that's where they're going to be looking for next.
That was a second example of this game, though, Graves, of Zed 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 basically completely ignoring the front line and diving directly onto Kel'Thas with the Muradin and the Genji. And I don't know if Adults with Jobs has an answer for that when executed well.
Not really, no. I mean, unless they try to use the Alarak to turn around and combo the person diving them. Otherwise, it's just all about the counter engage. Altar spawning, it is a single one in the middle. I don't know if Zed 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 can get this bottom back in time. A big damage already on the Kel'Thas, and the counter strike from Retrofunk is there. Stay While and Listen does land on multiple members. The Phoenix actually getting a lot of value. Lifebinder having to get used early. Retrofunk stays alive. Great healing from Deckard. And the channel was interrupted. There is a Dahaka fighting a Yrel on the backside of this, but my goodness, just so much back and forth here. Adults with Job are getting a really great amount of poke on their opponents. And Zed Zed Zed, it's going to be
Yrel's in trouble.
Stay alive. Oh, it looks like she is. Enjoy on Genji going back there. And now they decided, hey, let's stop fighting over the bottom and instead fight over the objective itself.
Yeah, I think Adults with Jobs actually has the advantage here. Odin is down, Dragon Queen is down. Those are kind of their 2 big ones, but they're coming in anyway, and here we go.
Dahaka using Burrow early. The Living Bomb actually does spread. Dahaka will die here. Retrofunk getting those stacks up, and we have a pause.
Worst possible time for a DC. It looked like Noob Slice DC'd right as Dahaka went down. That's a pretty feels bad man moment there.
Yeah, indeed. All right, chat, you get to look at our lovely faces then while we wait for them to perhaps rejoin here. But yeah, you kind of had mentioned it before that the just walking past the front line and killing the Kel'Thas, and whether or not Adults with Jobs really has an answer. And I really think they just need to counter engage. If Kel'Thas dies, that's okay as long as they're getting 1 or 2 kills themselves. If they're not at least trading out, then obviously it's not the way they want to be handling it. In fact, if we look at the deaths, Kel'Thas is 3 of those deaths. Johanna 3 on the team as well. But Tychus, Adults with Job, they picked him off 3 times. So as long as they're trading out those damage dealers, I feel like it's probably fine to just let it happen almost.
All right, Gravesville, looks like we might have those R's coming out, bud.
All right, looks like this is on me. Let's try not to mess it up. We did it, team. All right, we're back. So, yeah, Dahaka is back. Unfortunate timing, him disconnected there. Living Bomb spread, and Draconics actually might not be out of this quite yet either. Sentner with a nice double stun, though. And Joy gonna jump in here, looking to kill on Randy, and gets it. Okay, then.
Yeah, Randy only needs to step up, like, just barely out of position, and they are really picking him off. But Adults with Jobs making the moves now, up in level just slightly, and core hit points basically dead even.
Dragon Blade going out on the backside here. Retrofunk is low, gets a nice counter strike over. Deckard with a great stay long listen, but Alarak will fall. Genji, Dahaka burrowing in the backside as well, and they're looking for more. Nats on Deckard gets tongued, and Joy looking for kill and gets it. Deckard goes down, Ardent Defender getting used, and only the front line is alive on the sides of Adults with Job.
And right when things started to be going Adults with Jobs' way, they just overstay for a short while, and Zed 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 absolutely foot to the gas, made them pay.
Yeah, and again, that's where I love the Dahaka who just burned it, and Myrmidon might not be out of this. That was Blessed Shield getting used, but the answer, Johanna, goes down. I loved that. The Alex Straza picking up Pacify at 13 just says, you're not getting anywhere. You're not getting away from this one.
Yeah, small little mistake out of the Johanna player. You always feel pretty secure when you're Johanna, but Zed Zed Zed, I think that's the 4th time they've dropped her, shown that they have the target focus and chain CC to bring her down when they needed to, and all by herself. Down she went, and that's a pretty big staggered death there for Adults with Jobs.
So double altars spawning, and Joy looking for a kill on a Retrofunk gets him down to about a half health already, but altars are getting channeled. Dahaka's got the one at the bottom, Draconics here in the middle, and that is going to be 10 shots going their way. Only 3 health left on the side of Adults with Job. Boss wins them the game. Sappers could win them the game. Zed Zed Zed, they are in the driver's seat. This is their game to lose. And how do you answer if you're Adults with Jobs?
I think you need to decide the game before the triple or double altar phase comes up and puts you in checkmate, before they can manipulate the map to force you to make decisions. You want to make them fight you, on even terms if you can, and this is what I'm talking about. They're already going to boss with the Sappers in the bottom lane, and Adults with Job doesn't realize it yet. I think this is going to be game. I think it's already too late, Graves.
Yeah, this is going to be it. Game number 2 in our best of 5 series. Going over to Zed Zed Zed. They take the win here on Towers of Doom. GG, and well played to them. We're going to get ourselves ready for game number 3.
Talking about Zed Zed Zed, new to NGS this season, but not new to the kind of competitive scene. For those of you that have been around Share League since Season 1, like myself, if you remember Snipe Squad, the Share League Season 1 champions, Noob Slice and Enjoy were on that team. So they've been around a little while. They've won before, all the way back in Share League Season 1. So these guys are definitely a veteran squad, even if they're new to our neck of the woods.
Yeah, and they've definitely been showing. The great synergy from their teammates. They've got the chain CC, great heals from Alex Strauss, great, just everything all around, I would say. Adults with Jobs, I feel like they were close again in that game. It was 13-14, and then they just got dove on. They're just like, hey, what if we just go kill their backline, And
I would say the difference, I think, both games 1 and 2, was Zed 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 seems to be able to take every situation and leverage 100% of it. They never, every time they're up man, they get,
Oh, hold on, you're breaking up on me. You still there?
value. I am. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, sorry, you just roboted for a moment. You're back now.
I was going to say, I think the
Oh,
difference in value.
okay.
How about now?
Discord's doing weird things. I think
All
we're
right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Okay.
Okay, great.
So I'm waiting to hear back whether Adults with Jobs is going to be looking for first pick or map pick. But while we have a moment, why don't we go ahead and reveal our Division A All-Stars? So let me go ahead and show everyone. We're going to start things off with the West Division. Div A West All-Stars. Everyone in chat, take a look. We got our tanks, our solos, our DPS, and supports. And again, some of these teams, our team members, are playing tonight. Murmurduck on the tank here, we can see. I just fizzed on the solo. Who else do we have here? Retro Funk is showing up in DPS. Only the support not showing up. But you know what? That's some good support plays too. I didn't get on the All-Stars, sadly. Sure, I don't play in Division A, but I was expecting to at least get a mention. But there are your Division A West All-Stars. Congratulations, everyone, for getting chosen by your peers. And let's go ahead and look at Div A East. So there are your Division A East All-Stars. Tank, solos, DPS, and support. And again, several players here. The Centner on Zed Zed Zed. Noob Slice as the solo. We've got Enjoy. And again, no love for the supports. Again, I love the support play from both of these teams. So, great job once again, everyone, for making it to your All-Stars. Congratulations. And we're going to see... all right, looks like Retro Frunk is looking for first pick. So we're going to ask what map pick is. All right, I need to take a moment to take a drink. While we wait for them, let's talk about that last game there, because again, I feel like there was a really pivotal moment. It was 13 shots to 14, and Zed 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 just decided to run it down on Adults with Jobs. Do you think something could have went differently in the team fight, or do you think they should have backed away early, perhaps?
Yeah, I think the big moment in that game was that running team fight in the bottom lane, where Adults with Jobs was just kind of low on resources. Mm-hmm. And after spending so much time defending the far right side bottom lane fort, I think they were just kind of at their end with that. And Zed 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 saw that, went in hard. Right before Alarak went down in that bottom fight, I just happened to look at his mana, and he basically had 0 mana. So Zed 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 doing what they've done both of these games, which is when they get that opportunity, they took advantage. Adults with Jobs probably a little bit too low on resources, health and mana to actually defend that fort. Mm-hmm. And maybe at that point they should have just kind of backed up, hit the hearth button, hit the reset button, go ahead and concede that bottom fort, but be ready to go with that comeback that you had set yourself up for, because they had clawed back so close with a big team fight win of their own, a couple of altars, and it was 100% a 50-50 game at that point. But in the heat of the moment, it's kind of hard to recognize those spots ahead of time in hindsight, or as it's going on, you're kind of like, man, we should have backed up. But that's pretty hard to identify, 30 seconds before it actually happens.
Yeah. Heat of the moment, obviously things are much different. Yeah, I agree with that one. And someone mentioned it in chat, and thank you, Aura, for posting it. But we can take a look at the brackets as well here, just so everyone can take a look to see where these teams came from, because it is interesting the route that each player went, or each team, went to make it here. I mentioned it earlier, but that Adults with Jobs versus Archetype finals was a really big one. Archetype came in as the favorite, #1 seed, losing it to Adults with Jobs in that best of 3 series. And yeah, that's And at Zed Zed Zed, they didn't have, really a walk in the park, I would say. There are a lot of good teams in the Eastern bracket, but they really have marched their way into these finals.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with the Eastern side of the bracket. On the Western side, Archetype was definitely the number 1 seed going in. But the top 3-4 teams in A West weren't too far off, and that Adults with Jobs Archetype set was really fun to watch. It was a really good competitive set. But A West, really the top, half of the bracket, those teams weren't too far off one another, despite the fact that I think Archetype was definitely the number 1 seed. It wasn't by a huge margin. So just a small surprise, I would say, Adults with Jobs winning that. But, they're a veteran team. They've been around, and them pulling that off is, certainly not totally unexpected.
Yeah, certainly. All right, so we do have our map choice for game number 3 here. Adults with Jobs deciding they want to get first pick here. So Zed Zed Zed, they have chosen to go to Infernal Shrines. And this game, I would actually expect to see similar drafts for both these teams, especially on the side of Zed Zed Zed. If they want to go with that more zone control, a lot of the times you would see, for example, an Alexstrasza on this map, because you can zone out your opponents. The same with Tychus Odin. Love to see. Go ahead.
She's so good on Shrines. Alexstrasza is so good on Shrines.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Graves. Whose map pick was this? I missed that.
This is Zed Zed Zed's map pick. So Adults with Jobs choosing to go for first pick here. And maybe it's because they want to change up their drafting strategy. That could be one reason. Usually I prefer map pick because I'm more comfortable with some maps than others, but if you really feel like you need a certain pick, first pick's obviously the way to go.
My guess would be that Adults with Jobs gave up map pick for the reason that they thought Zed 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 would go to Infernal Shrines. Zed 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 6-0 on Infernal Shrines this season, undefeated, but so's Adults with Jobs 3-0. So these teams, neither team has lost on Shrines this season, both in the playoffs or the regular season. So maybe Adults with Jobs figuring that this is where Zed would come, and they're perfectly comfortable here, so why not go ahead and take first pick?
Yeah, that could be their logic. Asmodan, again, the target band of choice for Zed Zed Zed. Genji and Diablo. Adults with Jobs said, yeah, okay. We let you have Genji one game, and I think we regret it. Zed 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 banning Johanna as well. And Whitemane, all right, that's their pick. They said, hey, Whitemane is it. We're done with Deckard. Let's pick up Whitemane.
Yeah, Zed 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 used Whitemane so good game 1. That could be both a hero that they want to play, but also kind of a soft ban, if you will, taking that away from those guys as well.
However, Zed Zed Zed, they will pick up Deckard and the Sonya. Sonya really great on this map. They play Sonya quite a bit, so Zed 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 going with some comfortable picks of their own. No Alexstrasza picked up from either of the teams, that means. Adults with Jobs, they're likely to pick up their tank here, some kind of damage, or they could go for their solo up against that Sonya. So they've shown both the Blaze and the Yrel, and interesting, they're going to go with Garrosh and Maiev as their melee assassin of choice on the side of Adults with Jobs.
Yeah, I was going to say, reflecting back on game 1, I really wanted Adults with Jobs to pick some way to deal with the Sonya. And maybe that's what they're thinking with the Maiev and the Garrosh, just more ways to hold Sonya in one place, more ways to isolate her out with the Warlord's Challenge and the Warden's Cage and all of the CC that those guys offer over there.
Jaina ban on the side of Zed Zed Zed. Adults with Jobs perhaps looking to ban a main tank, seeing as they have one of their own and 2 are missing as well. They could get rid of the Murden. Murden, I feel, was really impactful on the side of Zed 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 last game. Unless they really feel like they want to get rid of a damage dealer, or they saw the Tychus play last time. Yeah,
that was going to be my pick. Tychus into Garrosh. Tychus really chews up that Garrosh. Commander Odin is really good on the point control. They showed how well they played him last game. I really like that Tychus ban.
Shout out in chat to Mystic Hots. Thank you for that 102 bits, knocking me out of the top 3 bit leaders in NGS. Murden is the choice. on the side of Zed Zed Zed, and they'll pick up the Kel'Thas themselves.
Yeah, kind of taking a page out of that Whitemane book, taking it themselves so the other side can't have it yet again.
Delta Jobs, maybe they're willing to pick up a Gul'dan themselves this time. Gul'dan is pretty good on this map. Horrify is a great ultimate. Thrall and Zarya picked up for Adults with Jobs.
It's funny, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was just thinking as we're waiting on these last two pips, Adults with Jobs kind of lost 2 standard games in a row, even though they were competitive. Do you take out the pocket pick here, something spicy for this win or go home game? And that's what they do. I know Zarya is a ranged tank, but basically all frontline team with just a Whitemane behind there. Really interested to see how this goes as a Phoenix rounding out the draft for Zed Zed Zed.
Yeah, Zed 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 with the more traditional approach, but I like this from Adults with Jobs. Maybe we'd have seen a Cho'Gall. That could have been a pick as well, but I like the Zarya pickup. I feel like she's underplayed. The shields get a lot of value, likely to be Expulsion Zone to push them around the shrine, although you could see a Graviton Surge, some kind of combination coming up for them. I don't know, we'll have to see how it works out here. We're going to get ready for game number 3. What do you think of the draft, I suppose, just overall?
Well, it reminds me, I actually casted B West Finals. It was undefeated Bellevue College that eventually won the grand finals going up against PFN. Bellevue hadn't dropped a game yet, and PFM picked a very heavy melee team into a very standard draft like Zed 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 has. And my comment coming at draft was, I wonder if they can keep all of those melee heroes off the back line. And that's my same thought here. Can they keep all of these melee heroes off of Kael'thas? Does Muradin have enough peel to keep Maiev, Thrall, all of those frontliners off of Kael'thas? And if not, I think Adults with Jobs might be able to force a game 4.
Well, let's find out. Game number 3 here between Adults with Jobs and Zed Zed Zed. On the left-hand side, it is Adults with Jobs. I just fizzed on Thrall, Retrofunk playing Maiev, Nats on that Whitemane, Randy playing Zarya, and Myrmidon playing Garrosh.
And Zed Zed Zed, 1 win away from being crowned Div A Grand Champions. Noob Slice playing Sonya, Draconics on Phoenix, Sentinel on Muradin, Enjoy on Kael'thas, and Kitsune on Deckard Cain.
Aisha's Momentum coming out from Maiev at level 1. Thrall not going for the meme talent, but instead going for the Echo of the Elements. Something could have been said. Hold on. Might have a pull from Retrofunk. He's got to get the stun themselves. Maiev under heavy pressure. The Whitemane heals are there, but not enough. Maiev will go down. That is first blood. Went over to Zed Zed Zed.
Yeah, you see a lot of teams with the Maiev, when those tethers land, they kind of panic and scatter. Not Zed Zed Zed. They all kind of maintained formation. They marched forward until the tether expired, and then they just started wailing on Maiev.
Zarya under pressure here in the middle. Randy has the Living Bomb on them. It is Q build, the Demolitions expert coming out from Zarya, so that'll be a lot of poke and good damage for them later on. And we'll have to see, if Deckard can actually heal through all of that poke damage that Zarya will provide. And obviously, as we mentioned before, shields are good.
Yeah, and that's basically going to be only range damage that Adults with Jobs has, is going to be the grenades coming out from Zarya.
We do have Thrall v Sonya at the top. Sonya does pretty well in this matchup because she doesn't have mana. Camp picked up early on the side of Zed Zed Zed. Adults with Jobs not picking up their own quite yet. The rotations seem to be just a little bit slower than their opponents. In terms of wave clear, Zed Zed Zed, I believe, has the better wave clear.
Yeah, by I think a healthy margin with a Kael'thas in particular. Their 4-man rotation is just going to be better with clearing and rotating.
Little skirmish here in this rotation. But they get away just fine. But again, that camp, it's pushing in here. This is good early value for Zed Zed Zed. Adults with Jobs, they really don't have a way to answer this. Zarya perhaps getting caught out in the middle. There's the stun as well. Big damage on her knock-up. Living Bomb spreads. Randy survives with just a little over 200 HP.
Adults with Jobs needs to be, I think, really wary of falling really far behind. Melee-heavy comps have a hard time like defending the objective. They can't really sit behind and safely poke out a Punisher. Also, as they fall further and further behind in level, their higher hit point totals just kind of mean less and less. And with their weak wave clear, Adults with Jobs is going to be in a world of trouble if they fall, 2-3 levels behind. It's going to be game over. I think they need to keep this close.
Mongoose, we keep mentioning the amount of melee heroes on the side of Adults with Jobs, but they picked that into Kel'Thas.
Yes, they did.
This is like a living bomb wet dream here. Like,
yeah.
that's going to be so difficult.
Or the Flame Strike, either one.
Right. Well, here we go. Shrine activating in the middle. Camps picked up in the top side for both of the teams already. Zed 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 find themselves slightly ahead in terms of the objective, but now Adults with Jobs is here with the positioning. Kel'Thas looking to come in here with some of those Flame Strikes that we mentioned before. Even Bomb trying to do its good work. Flame Strikes are there as well. It's Zed 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 that find themselves ahead, and they have a camp pushing for them in the bottom lane.
Yeah, the Zed Zed Zed's going to win this objective unless Adults with Jobs gets a kill and pushes them off the point. Big tether there. Muradin has to Dwarf Toss away. Sonya in trouble as well, and small victories there for Adults with Jobs as they are able to bully Zed 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 off the point and maybe even up some of the Shrine Guardian count here a little bit, despite Enjoy stealing some of them away. Re-engage coming from Zed Zed Zed.
Yeah, I think Zed 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 just walk away with this one pretty easily. Adults with Jobs are going to have to start backing away from this Living Bomb, doing its work once again. And Enjoy, he can just Flame Strike and Living Bomb all of these. Sonya spinning to win, and that will be the first objective of the game. Going over to Zed Zed Zed. Adults with Jobs, they need to get on out of here.
Yeah, I think Thrall is in trouble. Down he goes. If these team fights are not putting pressure on Kel'Thas and he can just kind of stand back there and feel safe in his own space and throw out spells, Adults with Jobs is going to have a hard time. They really want to push in and put pressure on the Deckard Cain and the Kel'Thas. Those guys can't be comfortable back there if Adults with Jobs are going to win a team fight.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Level 7 is achieved first for Zed 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 around the corner for Delta Job. First objective of the game is normally pretty weak, but this has already just destroyed this middle gate. The fort finds itself at half health early on. Again, that camp at the bottom was pushing this whole time. Kel'Thas assisting it on the way in to get some more value. And you mentioned it, Adults with Jobs, they do not want to find themselves behind early.
Yeah, they lack the wave clear. They lack the way to safely do damage. Just kind of how their composition is, they have to get into the thick of it to do stuff, and that's not something you want to do if you're down a few levels.
Absolutely not. Well, they're stacking right now, right? Echo the Elements is done. Zari's got 18 stacks of her particle, what is it called? Demolitions Expert. I do feel like Adults with Jobs, they do get better at level 10. That is the one upside, is if they get level 10 and they just kill people because that's what their comp is meant to do, then they'll get a lot better results in terms of the gameplay. But yeah, they just need to make sure they don't fall too far behind as rotations are here from both of these teams.
Are you thinking, like I am, that you're going to see Earthquake out of Thrall to hold those guys there, to make sure when Adults with Jobs decide that this is the fight that they want to take, the backline can't comfortably just run away?
Yeah, I think Earthquake is definitely the choice, and they just walk in with Maev and start spamming the Q button, because I feel like they basically just have to throw everything they have at their opponents in order to win these team fights. I'm just concerned that Zed Zed Zed, they can just kind of walk away at some point or stay a while and then re-engage after Adults with Jobs have already blown all of their abilities.
And Garrosh there in the bush, he wants anybody not named Muradin to walk in first, but Zed 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 having none of that. Muradin just harassing. That's one of the ways you counter Garrosh if you have like a Muradin or a Johanna, is you basically hug him. You just stay so close to him that he can't throw anybody else. Obviously, don't overdo it, but that's kind of one of the ways you deal with a Garrosh there. Make sure that he can't throw anybody else by just hugging his leg all over the place. There's the one he wanted.
Well, Enjoy finds himself caught in the triple knockup, however, will keep him alive. Enjoy still just auto-attacking. Remember, Doc, the shield is there. And Enjoy survived despite getting caught out in the middle lane here. The triple knockup, and he's even walking further in. No fear whatsoever from Enjoy.
Well, despite Enjoy face-checking that bush and Garrosh getting the throw, the members of Adults with Jobs were just too far to respond quick enough. If they were closer, Enjoy would have died. They were just a little bit too far away.
Level 10s have been achieved for both the teams. We already saw Phoenix getting used early on, but that's a pretty short cooldown. That'll be available yet again for this objective. Both teams looking to get their Breezer camp at this time. It is the Earthquake, and they are going to go for Graviton Surge. So just trying to pull them in, because look at this Divine Reckoning coming out from Whitemane. Normally you would see the, I can't even think of the other name. What is it called? Scarlet Crusade. There we go.
Yeah.
Scarlet
Aegis?
Aegis, yeah.
Yeah.
But here we go. Sentner gonna have to use that early avatar, but dead is he. And that Earthquake going down. And the stay well, but that is still exactly what Adults with Jobs is looking for, just the complete blow up.
And kind of a role reversal there. That was the kind of thing that Zed 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 was 1 and 2. They just find a target and kill them, and that's just what they did with Muradin. I think Muradin's going to be up in time for the re-engage here. They're not going to have time to completely clear out this shrines, but Adults with Jobs didn't use all of their cooldowns. Only Earthquake. Warlord's Challenge here will be up by the time Muradin gets here. They actually still have more heroics available than Zed does.
Don't face check. Draconics is the taunt there. The knockup is there from Kel'Thas. There goes the Graviton Surge, but Phoenix already is dead. That cage is keeping him alive. Murderduck getting dove on from Noob Slice, spinning a win, but that will be another kill going over to Adults with Jobs.
And that'll also secure them the objective. The Arcane Punisher picked up for Adults with Jobs, and that was what Adults with Jobs had in mind when they did this comp. That right there. Basically, anybody who's not Muradin, they get the throw on him. That hero needs to die. And we saw before this, even when it was Muradin, he still went down.
Yeah, so great job from Adults with Jobs. They find themselves the kills. They get the Arcane Punisher. They're going to pressure top lane here. This fort will likely fall. They have a pretty good amount of siege damage themselves. And yeah, great plays from them. I mean, that is exactly what they need to do. Again, that's basically how their draft style is going on. There's a fight going on. Meanwhile, this whole time, Earthquake was used, and Sonya goes down. I Just Fizz really wanted that camp, you know?
That's a great play by I Just Fizz there. Getting the camp and the kill one-on-one, a great play.
So Sonya falling.
That'll actually allow the invasion too.
Yeah, I'll say, and the staggered death. So that was definitely worth it. Noob Slice didn't want to give it up, obviously. 13 is achieved first for Adults with Jobs. And
Go
ahead.
Worth noting, Gravesville, Burn Flesh picked up by Kel'Thas. The percentage-based damage when you hit more than 2 heroes. Assuming he goes with the double Flame Strike later on in the game, you can see a Flame Strike pretty much chunk out the entire team for Adults with Job if he gets a good one.
We saw Retro Funk sniping the well over the wall in the middle lane there. So that'll be one less well available, which actually is important because you can already see the next objective will be spawning in the middle lane. Neither team will have a well for them. Enjoy throwing down some damage early on, and Sender needs to be careful. We already saw that they have the damage. Noob Slice looking for a flank in the backline, though. Finds himself a Garrosh who just flips her right out. The spear is there. Going to use Undoubtable. Graviton Surge with that cage, and my goodness, look at that damage. I believe Nats will fall in the backline. No, Whitemane healing, keeping Nats alive. Whitemane finally falling there. And it looks like that'd be another 2 kills going over to Zed Zed Zed.
MVP of that fight, Sentinel on Muradin. So much pressure. He was all over Whitemane, all over everybody. They couldn't, keep him off of those guys, and it prevented the members of Adults with Jobs from following up on that huge Graviton Surge.
Yeah, it was a really nice combo, definitely from Adults with Jobs. Get the, the Warden's Cage and the Graviton together, but the plan is when you do that, you just Phantom Knives all over them. But yeah, Sentner's just like, what if you're stunned? What if your backline is dead? Fort going down in the bottom lane here. Zed Zed Zed. They find themselves the kill. They get themselves another fort. and objective should be around the corner as they perhaps look to just soak lanes or look for a kill on Thrall top lane.
Yeah, Thrall has to smell something funny, and he does. Back he goes.
So there is the Shrine activating. Only the Bruiser camp available. The one on the upside, it's going to be spawning in about 5 seconds. So both teams likely to trade out Bruisers at this point. Dead even in terms of XP. Zed 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 just very slightly ahead. But I don't believe either team gets 16 before this objective comes up.
No, Zed 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 a little bit closer. It's going to be close if they could side soak it with the objective up or not. I really want to see Adults with Jobs get on this right away to force that decision, and they do. Bruiser's picked out, and I think Zed Zed Zed's going to have to step up without 16 here.
Yeah, they're going to try to focus it as quickly as they can. Kel'Thas cleaning up the camp means he's not here to even steal this away, but maybe Zed 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 is conceding it until they get 16? No, and Joy's finally making his way here, but they're already find themselves slightly behind. Adults with Job that backed off. The Flame Strike getting good value. Noob Slice is spinning here now. Still no 16 for either of these teams, and they're just kind of playing chicken right now.
And you can see when those Flame Strikes land on multiple targets, it is doing massive damage.
Phoenix is committed here on the side of Zed Zed Zed, and yeah, we can see the damage is going out, and Joy is enjoying all of these Flame Strikes and living bombs. And Adults with Jobs, they find themselves backing away as Zed Zed Zed, they will pick up this objective.
Yeah, those long, protracted positional fights favor Zed 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 with the Phoenix poke and the Kael'thas poke. Adults with Jobs not able to get the engagement that they wanted, and just kind of backed up, realizing that was pretty much that.
Well, Whitemane is pretty much dead now in the top lane here. She just gets annihilated, being a little too far forward. Frozen Punisher in the middle lane here. Camp at the top will be great pressure for them as well. Wrath of the Berserker getting used, and they are thinking about getting this keep wall taken down.
My client did crash, Grave, so you're going to have to fly solo till I reconnect here.
All right, I was wondering why you left the party voice, but that might explain some things. The Phoenix getting used to try to zone them off. This keep is down to about half health, so they will survive for now. So no keep lost on the side of Adults with Jobs, which is going to be really impactful. Losing that keep this early would have been bad for them. Adults with Jobs, they find themselves level 16, though, which means they can defend it successfully. And Zed Zed Zed, they will take away their opponent's siege camp, looking at the one at the bottom and the other one on their own side of the map. And Adults with Jobs, they really just need to look to get aggressive here. Obviously, we know that is their team comp that they drafted for. They see Noob Slice here. They're wondering where the rest of the team is, and they found themselves over the camp. Already went over. The Warden's Cage getting used early. Retrofrunk is there. Graviton Surge getting used well. The knock up onto Myrmidon. Garrosh is low on the point. There goes the Earthquake as well. Sonya will be the first to fall. Indomitable coming up from Myrmidon, but he has a living bomb on him. Thrall and Garrosh both go down. Randy as well. That is 4 kills. Excuse me, 5 kills going over to Zed Zed Zed. They get the full team wipe, only losing Sonya. And now they're probably looking to capitalize and take themselves the first keep of the game.
I'm sad that I reconnected right now and missed all of that.
Well, welcome back, my friend. It was a crazy team fight, and off the top of that, Zed Zed Zed, they're gonna grab a keep. I don't think they go for game, but
they're thinking about it.
They do have a really big wave with them in the middle.
A little indecision there, kind of back and forth, and now they've decided to back up. Yeah, if they were gonna do it, they had to be decisive about it. They weren't quite all there, just decided to back up. They've got Katas in 2 lanes. They're going to get 20 advantage time really on the side of Zed 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 here.
Yeah, that's definitely the safer play. You know, going core there, you risk... I mean, really, they didn't risk a whole lot because they're only missing 1 fort, but it's better to be safe than sorry, as they will be getting level 20 before their opponents, and then that is truly their opportunity to just walk away with this team, or with this game, excuse me. The next objective will be in the top. There's still a keep there, obviously, and that's impactful, but neither team has a fort. So any extended team fight means neither team can really back up and tap the well, but aggressive positioning from Zed Zed Zed, they're going to steal their opponent's camp, and there's not really anything they can do about it because level 20 is basically here for Zed Zed Zed.
So decision time for adults with jobs. Do you concede a basically close to 20-minute Punisher here and probably keep at minimum, or do you go up and contest top lane? Thrall gone.
I think that answers your question.
Yeah, that.
With Thrall gone, I don't think there's anything they can do about that one, unfortunately. So 20 is achieved again by Zed Zed Zed. They get the kill. They could just pressure keep and then go get the objective. There's no way that Adults with Jobs gets 20. Sentner caught in the Graviton Surge. Phoenix was committed, but I really feel like the play for Zed 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 is just leave Sony on the Shrine, pressure top with the rest of the team, and then just go core with the objective.
And that's what it looks like is going to happen. Sonya clearing out the Mercs while her teammates just kind of push the Merc waves in, do some poke damage, pressure where they can without a hard engage. But speaking of hard engage, they have Deckard Cain.
Yeah, Retrofunk jumping in the backline here, and they're going to throw Deckard in. Kitsune is getting taunted, staying alive for now. Kitsune gets away. Maiev does not. Randy gets deleted. Noob Slice coming in here. Whitemane goes down, as does Maiev and Zarya. They're going to commit the Earthquake to try to escape, but I just fizzed. I don't know if it matters. That was, I can't believe Deckard survived that. Stay well and listen, we'll lock them down for now. Kel'Thas will die. That actually is impactful. That will be enough, I believe, to get Zed 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 to get away from this.
Yeah, probably. Deckard Cain, man, he's a tough old bird. He is the toughest old guy with a walker to bring down. He should have been dead to rights, but he just kind of limped away, barely escaped, and Zed 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 turned that thing around. Sonya rotating off of the objective to show up at just the right time. And 3-1 in favor of Zed 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 there. Adults with Jobs is in a really rough spot.
Yeah, Deckard just throwing potions at his feet, praying for the best. Worked out for them. Again, they do have advantage on the Shrine already, and there's really nothing Adults with Jobs can do.
This is their play. You take a 5-on-4, you don't fight with under John Cena. They're getting aggressive, kind of a Hail Mary play.
Well, they don't have level 20, but it is a 5v4. As you mentioned before, they're going to throw Sony in. That's not necessarily the target they're looking for, as she is just eating the backline. Garrosh goes down. Retrofunk is low himself. Noob Slice stays alive. Whitemane goes down. That is 3 kills so far for Zed Zed Zed. They're looking to clean up this game and this series. They're going to take out Randy. What happened there?
I mean, it's not an ideal situation to kind of roll up in there. They were kind of in bad formation because they were rotating through the lane and getting dismounted, but it was desperation time for Adults with Jobs. That was a low percentage play, but I think it was just one that they had to make at that point in the game. There was nothing else for them to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Zed Zed Zed, they took control of this game early on and really didn't let go. 18 kills to 6 at this point. The shields are falling. I just fizzed. The only man alive. Not for long. But they're going to make it 19 kills for Zed Zed Zed. They're going to go ahead and take game number 3 in the sweep, taking the grand final. Zed Zed Zed, they are your winners here on Infernal Giants. Congratulations to them. GG and well played.
You know, for in particular, games 1 and 2, that's about as close of games as you're going to get out of a 3-0, because games 1 and 2 were very close for most of the game. Really could have gone either way. Game 3, not quite as much. The kind of unconventional composition for Adults with Jobs not quite working out for them. But I think the series closer than the 3-0 would indicate.
Yeah, I agree. Especially like you said, those first games were definitely much closer. But Zed Zed Zed, they put the pedal to the metal and they just didn't let go in this game here. So congratulations to them. 22 minutes we'll call it here on Infernal Shrines. 6 kills to 19. We can take a look at our final talents as well. And we're going to see if perhaps we can get an interview with one of our captains here. So let's see. Noob Slice.
Who is not called Noob Slice, I don't think.
Yeah, well, what's his Discord name again?
Hold on, let me look it up. It is Peeny Bobini.
Classic Peeny Bobini. But yeah, that game was really great from Zed Zed Zed. Congratulations to Adult with Jobs. They made it to the grand finals here. doing a really great job in their own division. Obviously, we mentioned the game against Archetype and the season all along. They played really well. But Zed Zed Zed, they showed just how powerful they are. Turning out.
Despite the Game 3 loss, I like the thought process behind what Adults with Jobs did. Kind of change it up, throw them a curveball, see if we can steal a game, and kind of put the doubt in them, kind of make them start to think about that reverse sweep with something maybe they hadn't prepped for, kind of an unorthodox style, and steal away that Game 3.
Yeah, I mean, I liked, you mentioned the Hail Mary, and that's kind of what the draft is too. I think it was still a good idea. I think they had to try something different because obviously it wasn't working. I mentioned how much I love Zarya, so I'm glad I got to see Zarya played at least. New Slice wants to know if you can bring the whole team in. Well,
ooh. So much for all that pregame prep,
so
right?
much for all that pregame prep. That's fine. We're gonna hide our lovely faces. So give me one moment. All right, and we will put up our good friends Soldier 76 and ETC. And let's head on over then, shall we, to NGS chat. So we'll end this call and we'll be right back. All right, so
they're the champions, Graves. If they want to celebrate as a team, who are we to stop them?
Exactly. So it looks like, yeah, they're going to bring the whole team here, which I think is always exciting. You can get a lot of opinions from everyone, and obviously just the joint celebration is worth it because they did a really good job just in the team. Hold on. Just confirming that they're going to be coming to the lobby. Peeny Bobini, I love that name. But yeah, it was a team effort, so why not let the team join in? And here they start to roll in.
1 down, 2 down. What's going on? Congratulations.
You too.
Hello, thank you.
Do we have the whole team? Is everyone else joining in as well?
I think they were planning to come in, but they might be lost.
Well, let's just start with the congratulations, because you guys came in here 3-0ing your opponents. How do you feel right now?
I feel very good.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. This is our first time in NGS, and it's been a really competitive season. I think both in Div A East and playing these guys in the finals is a lot of close games and lots of fun. So definitely been a good time.
Well, let's actually go back into the series, shall we? Game number 1, as we see some other members coming in here. Thanks everyone for joining us. Game number 1, you guys played on Dragonshire, I believe. Yeah, that seemed to be a pretty close game there for you. Were you afraid of your chances on that map, because there was a lot of back and forth there? Ended up taking that bottom keep, which is obviously impactful. How do you think you played on that map?
I think we did all right. I don't know. I had checked out some of their previous games and had this like master strategy of how to counter what they do, which was taking the bruiser camp right at 1 minute. But they didn't end up doing that, and counter invaded us, and then just kind of got off to a hairy start for us with that. Overall, I mean, it was a super close, super hairy game, so it really could have gone either way, but managed to pull it off.
Yeah, we feel like, we both kind of mentioned that the first 2 games were very close. Towers of Doom, it was 13 shots to 14. What was your strategy on that game? Because it seemed to us that you just kind of decided to walk past your opponents and kill the backline. Was that what you were going for?
Does anyone else want to take a question? The whole team's here. They're just not talking.
I mean, it's easier to kill a backline than a front line. So it's I think their front line was Johanna that game.
Don't focus the tank.
And we had Genji to dive in and focus the backline. So,
well, Mongoose, I'm going to let you ask a couple questions too.
Let's jump to game 3. At the end of that draft, they tried something a little different, unconventional, kind of threw you guys a curveball to try to change up the series. What was the chatter like after that kind of Zarya all melee composition they threw at you guys?
The Zarya and Thrall were a bit unexpected. I had seen that they like to run a lot of white main with the Maiev, because that's super strong combo with extra armor anytime you pop down the Maiev ultimate. So we did our best to kind of draft things that would do well against Maiev. But with the Zarya shields, that can be kind of scary. But we just tried to pick the best times to fight, and sometimes it didn't end up working out. But in the end, I think we got the last couple fights that really made the difference.
Yeah, I agree. I think you guys played really well as a team. I believe Mongoose was mentioning some of you had played in the past, way back in Chair League even. Is this your first season fully as a team together, or have you guys played all together in the past?
No, Enjoy and I had played in Chair League together, but this is our first time as a full group of 5, and it's been really fun. Like, everyone just has a really positive outlook on things. Even if we lose, we're just having fun. So that's really what I think it's all about, and just like being a part of the community has been awesome. Like, we've met a lot of other cool people on other teams, so been a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, we feel like, again, you guys played really well together. I do have to ask, Kitsune, how did you stay alive at that top few? You just hit Alt Q and walked away? I mean, what happened?
I'm not sure. I think I hit Alt Q and I pressed D, and I told everybody to kill them. And I try to live as long as possible, so my team could get some picks and some trades. And
So not help me, kill them. I like that.
Well,
I think they knew they had to help me. Yeah.
I would keep crying for help, and she'd be like, "No, I have to heal myself." So.
All right, Mongoose, any other questions from you?
No, I don't think so. You guys planning on? We're going to see you next season to defend your title, even though you'll probably not be in A, I would guess.
I think we're undecided at this point. I'd like to, but it is a bit of a commitment.
Yeah, it is.
People have other stuff going on, so
sure.
We'll definitely consider it.
Well, congratulations once again. You are our Division A Grand Final champions. Do you have any shout-outs to us before we get going tonight?
Does anyone else have shout-outs? I have a few, but
yeah, I got some shout-outs. Visionaire and Frosty
Wait, I was
Wind
gonna...
and Unicorn Farts, Park 555, Apparition. Everyone else
those
from
are
Doki
my
and Happy
shout-outs.
Accidents.
I was going to shout out Viz. You stole my shout-outs.
Yeah.
She's been asking for a shout-out all season. I'm taking it. I'm taking the glory.
Shout out to Div A East and Div A West. I checked out a lot of the other games that we weren't even playing in, and lots of competitive games and a positive atmosphere, which is really cool to see. Shout out to all the casters like you guys, and shout out to the rest of my team. Enjoying Draco. I know you're here, but
what? Yeah.
Well said. All right. Well, again, congratulations, guys, taking the win here. Take some time off, play some Team League, perhaps, and we'll see you next time. All right.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
Congrats,
casting us.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take care.
Thank you. See ya.
All right, Mongoose. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a really great series. Zed 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 taking the wins 3-0 over Delta Jobs. They are our Division A Grand Finals. Do you have any final words before we get going?
Nah, just you and I have very conflicting schedules and on opposite coasts, so we don't get to work together as much as we would like, but it's always fun when we do. So thanks for having me, and if anyone wants to find me, Twitch, Twitter, mongoose_22 for Twitch, mongoose__22 for Twitter, and that's pretty much it. Congratulations to Zed 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 for Grand Finals championships, and to Adults with Jobs for another stellar season, even though they came up just a bit short.
Yep, congratulations to them as well. They made it this far. And yeah, that's it for our cast tonight. Thank you again, Mongoose, for joining. It has been a lot of fun. My name is Graysville. If you enjoyed this cast, I would appreciate your follows on Twitch as well. You can find me at twitch.tv/GraysvilleGames. Graysville. We do have another matchup on this channel tomorrow night. I believe that is at the same time, 7 Pacific, for another grand finals. We'll have them all week long. This was Division A. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you for those in chat. Thank you for the teams for being here. And that's it for tonight. Have a good one.